While enjoying a beautiful walk through the historic areas of downtown Jersey City, today we meet Tris McCall, my friend, a longtime Jersey City resident, artist, and writer who talks about his Jersey City experience while we walk through the historic neighborhoods of downtown Jersey City.
So I've been in Hudson County, oh God, for more than 3 decades now, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But I always wanted to live in Hudson County. When I was growing up in an automobile suburb, the idea of living in a place where there was art and music and where you can walk to everything was incredibly appealing, and this was New Jersey's version of it.
Yeah.
When I lived in New Jersey, I was loyalist. So I knew about Maxwell's in Hoboken. I wanted to play at Maxwell's. I knew that Jersey City was cool. I would come to parties here. It was all very attractive. So we moved to Hudson County in '92, moved to Jersey City in 2003, and I've never really considered leaving.
I love to talk to people that have been in Jersey City for a long time because I feel like their perspectives on community are very solid. Like there's a reason why people have stayed.
Right.
And it has a lot to do with community.
It does, because there are a lot of things that you just want to see through.
Yes.
For instance, there's a cat right there. It's a really cute cat.
That is a cute cat.
Yeah, I've seen that cat around a lot. If I left Jersey City, would I ever see the cat again? Probably not.
No.
And it might be heartbreaking. Years and years ago, when we first came here, there was a lot of protests, a lot of discussion about the Powerhouse Arts District.
Yes.
What was it going to be?
Yes.
What would the PAD be? I added my voice to that. I did a lot of writing about it. I did a lot of journalism on that subject.
What do you feel you got out of that?
Oh, 150 Bay Street is pretty cool. It's a great place to go. There are arts. There are a lot of artist studios there.
They sort of consolidated most of that arts district into just 150.
Into 150 Bay Street, yeah. But now there are shows in Nimbus. I like Nevada's Gallery is a beautiful gallery.
Yeah.
Art House has opened up its theater. I did a show there.
Yes, I was there. It was a great show.
I did a show there, and it's not what was envisioned at the time. And certainly part of what was envisioned at the time was that the community at 111 First Street, where the artists at the time when we first moved to Jersey City, would be part of this. And some of them have been, but they're not in that district anymore. They've moved elsewhere. It's because they still do their stuff in Jersey City, but it's not. You do want to see it through. You want to know what it's going to look like. And you want to know that, nobody got exactly what they wanted. The politicians didn't get what they wanted. I don't think the developers really got what they wanted. And the artists certainly didn't get what they wanted.
No.
We lost Uncle Joe's, and the neighborhood feels completely different. But new people will move in, and they don't know any of this story. And to them, it's just all cool. It's like, hey, there's this building, there's a theater, there's a dance company.
Yeah.
There's around the corner. There's an art wall at the wine shop.
Do you feel that the people that have been here a long time, like yourself, can also be oral historians for these new people?
Yeah, maybe.
That may not know what Jersey City even looked like 5 years ago.
I think we can be now. I think that the people who've been here for a long time have somehow gotten past disillusionment. We were disillusioned maybe 5-7 years ago.
Yeah.
And now we're just sort of past it. And now we're floating in space. Isn't it? It's interesting. Jersey City, it just keeps changing around us. What's it going to be? So it's and I do think that now we're probably easier to talk to than we were 5 years ago.
I think I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. There was a little bit more standoffishness from a lot of...
Yeah, we were kind of... a lot of us, people who've been here for a long time were
Yeah.
But
there was a lot of confrontations on the street, that would create a lot of political dissonance.
I'm over that, and it's now seriously politically a town in transition, because one way or another, the mayor is no longer going to be the mayor. Very shortly, there's going to be a new administration. The mayor may be going to Trenton, and there's going to be new faces. There's going to be theoretically new priorities, and there's a lot of story left to be written, is the way that I feel. So,
this is correct, and the city is very large, and now there's fights happening in other areas.
That's right.
City.
And this is something that has improved massively in the time that I've been here. It was impossible. It was just impossible to get people to go uptown when I first moved to Jersey City.
This is true.
They would not do it. They wouldn't look at the west side. They wouldn't even really look at the Heights. you would try to get people to go and do this, and they would look at you like you were crazy.
Yeah.
Even the real estate people would say like, well, you can move up there if you want to be a pioneer. If you want to be a pioneer, like, it just seems so rude. And now that's not true. Now the communities talk to each other much better, and people know that there are events that happen all over the place, and people are willing to go. I think that learning that places like Mana Contemporary exists on the west side, I think people now know that the Heights, that there's a lot of tremendously interesting stuff. There's really good restaurants in the Heights.
Yeah.
People know that. So we're functioning much better as a city. And does that mean that unity is around the corner? I'd like to think maybe. I'd like to reap those benefits. Maybe us cooperating better or getting along better than we did.
One of the things I do when I bring people here when they want to move here is that I give them a full tour of all of the areas of Jersey City.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I have actually moved people to areas they hadn't considered moving
Totally. And like now, people have begun to realize how beautiful many of the parts of Bergen Lafayette are.
Yes.
And a lot of those blocks are just gorgeous. The housing is gorgeous. The vegetation is gorgeous.
The streets.
The streets themselves are gorgeous.
Yes.
And people didn't really know that because these neighborhoods didn't communicate very well.
Right.
Like they didn't. The people were living their lives there, and then there were other people living their lives here.
Correct.
And like they didn't really talk to each other. And now that's different.
Yeah.
And that's happened, and maybe we had something to do with it. And I keep trying to tell myself, like, maybe I had something to do with opening.
Well, if you stick around long enough, you probably did.
You're right enough, you're right
yes,
enough.
when you're right enough stuff, people read it.
People, let's see, there's another guy.
Oh,
How can you say goodbye to these guys?
How could you?
Yes.
They use a giant litter box right here.
Yes, that's right.
But yeah, I think, another question I've been asking people through this series is, what are your favorite places in Jersey City to eat, to enjoy?
Well, I'm going to be real boring.
And say?
And say that the best place to eat in Jersey City, without a doubt, is Raza. Because Raza deserves all the hype that it's gotten. Raza is, I tell you, Raza opened with so much fanfare.
Yeah.
And it's gotten so much hype that it's like you almost want to give a contrary answer to that question. But like, I've been to all these places in Jersey City, and they take so much care with the ingredients.
Yeah.
Also, the pizza itself is terrific. And Bread and Salt is also a great pizza.
Yes.
That's a great pizza place.
Yeah.
Different kind of place, but also wonderful. Cordo, which is right up the block from Bread and Salt. That's a great restaurant.
Delicious.
My favorite places in Jersey City have become the galleries, because that's where I tend to hang out all the time, because I've been doing reviews of visual art. And this is and always has been a visual arts town.
This is true.
We've always had visual art as our focus. And visual art is the way that we talk to each other about who we are. So the gallery spaces that are the pillars here are all small. Smush Gallery in Summit Avenue. Great fearless programming there. Multimedia space. It's a tiny space, but they do multimedia shows there. They do dance, they do theater sometimes, and they do art shows. I almost feel like the heart and soul of this city is Deep Space Gallery.
I feel after 660 Studios, Deep Space Gallery kind
Deep
of
Space
filled that void.
took on the 660. Yeah, definitely took on that 660 energy.
Yeah.
Deep Space, I feel like, carries on the legacy of what I think of as the core Jersey City aesthetic. Ianta Space, fantastic.
Don't know that.
Oh, Ianta Space, yeah, it's in an old carriage house at the end of DeKalb. And it's a great art gallery. Right around the corner right here on 5th is Curious Matter, which is a tiny, which is about the size of, we're looking at Peter Delman's house. I think right there is Peter Delman's house. He's one of the artists who's been in Jersey City for a really long time.
Oh.
So usually when they do the studio tour, he'll open his space.
Oh, nice.
That's a great gallery. And then there's the downtown galleries. Novato Gallery, which we mentioned before, which is a beautiful space. The new Art House Gallery, that gallery is being run by Andrea McKenna, who is an outstanding curator.
Yeah.
She's a great curator.
She's done
IMUR, which is in the Turkish restaurant in Paulusuk, has had great shows.
Wow.
Great shows there. So we're doing great shows all over the place. And then we have the large institutions, Mana Contemporary, where they tend to do really good shows. 150 Bay Street, when they open them up, in the gallery Art 150. So there's always something really good. And what people don't realize, and what I've been trying to tell people, is that the quality of the work here compares favorably to any place, not just New Jersey, but any place that you want to go. And the reason why is because of the idiosyncratic personalities of the artists, and that they're not afraid to really let those personalities show. And that's a Jersey City thing.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of weird people in this town.
Yeah.
Which is the main reason why we all stay.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to find that elsewhere.
No.
We're not going to find the same bunch. You know, the characters per capita here is like way higher than any place. It's very high.
Yeah. That is true.
And we're comfortable, and that's reflected in the art that we make.
Yeah.
Because the art is really idiosyncratic. You get a lot of personality, a lot of intelligence, a lot of caring, and not a lot of regard for the marketplace necessarily, to be honest. Seriously, people are doing their own thing.
Yeah, I do appreciate that.
I didn't mention drawing rooms, but that drawing rooms is awesome.
Drawing rooms he's always done such a great job, Jim Pastorino.
Oh yeah.
I remember when he was at Victory Hall,
Yeah.
and he used to do something with my friend Beverly, which maybe you all crossed paths. Do you remember that?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Pastorino talk about an interesting guy who's been in the community for a long time, who's got his own distinctive way of seeing things.
Yeah.
And who's really, that's his motivation. He's like, I've got an interesting way of seeing things. I'm going to show you that. Take it or leave it. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's kind of a Jersey attitude, right?
I mean, there's always new spots to add, but the solid spots will remain there.
Yes.
And we were having this conversation with somebody else who's in this video series saying, this is some of the highest quality restaurateurs and food has remained in Jersey City and is kind of unparalleled anywhere else you go, because they have to keep up the quality because they will close down.
I mean, that's part of what we got to deal with is New York being right across the river.
Exactly.
Right? People have New York City level tastes here.
Yep.
But there isn't the same New York level capitalization of stuff. So we're dealing with that, and I think we'd be okay with it. But like, there are ways which we punch way above our weight, and there are ways which we punch way beneath our weight. One thing that's always been very frustrating to me as a musician is that the town is freaky. There's been times in the history of Jersey City when we've been very hostile to live music, and there haven't been a lot of places to play. Musicians end up across the river because there's not a lot of. Well, I guess we make up for it in other ways. It is true.
Yeah, but no, you're right. There really aren't that many venues that welcome live music. You know,
it's way better than it used to be.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
If I'm being honest, it's way better than. It's in so many ways. You lose sight of that things are better than they used to be.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the day when only LITM was open.
Back in the day when it was just LITM. Yes.
It was just one place.
It was just Jolene.
It was just Jolene. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, that was about it.
And it closed at 11.
There was LITM, and there was Uncle Joe's, and you would do shows at Uncle Joe's.
Yeah.
And then after the show at Uncle Joe's was over, you'd usually go to LITM.
One
of the first places that we went to in Jersey City was probably 92 when we first got here. And there was a party like 3 blocks, and there was nothing. None of these places were here.
Yeah.
This
was an actual funeral home.
Yeah, this was the funeral home.
Yes.
That was about it. I don't even know. I mean, the grocery store was there, but pretty much nothing else was here.
Right.
And it was very much like there wasn't a lot beyond like going to the party.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of places that you could go to. There weren't even a lot of restaurants necessarily.
Yeah, no.
It was, Newark Avenue was 99-cent stores.
Yeah.
And a lot of work has been done.
Yeah, this is correct.
Yeah.
A lot of work has been done. There's still a lot of work left to do, but as the city expands, there's new places in new parts of the city that are really trying to come above, trying to get their names out there and trying to be a destination place for other people from other areas of Jersey City.
Here's an example, like my team is the San Francisco Giants, right? For years, our manager was Bruce Bochy. And we used to curse out that Bruce Bochy was, seriously, we'd always be like, oh man, he's making all these mistakes. But everybody else, like when they would walk, they would be like, you got the best manager. You know what I mean? Like people, if you had, talk to people who were fans of other teams, right? They'd be like, and like we didn't see it because he was our manager and you curse out your manager. When we bring people to Jersey City, right? Like, they're like, wow, this is great. And you want to say, well, if you only knew, if you only knew like what would like, but there's only so many times that you can say that before you realize that, like, okay, the consensus from outsiders seems to be that like we got something going on, and like And like we actually did do something over the last 30 years to
Yes.
make this happen.
Yes.
And like but I think the important thing to remember is people always love to take credit for like what's going on, right? Not even necessarily people who are running for office, but the people who are running for office really like to take credit for it. But it's like we all did this. Like this thing, like we all did it. Like who did this? Well, like, all right, the artists did it, the restaurateurs did it, the real estate people did it, the bankers did it, you know, the cops did it, the robbers did it. You need some robbers, right? Like you need everything. Like we
gotta have
all
some
chipped
bad
in.
guys in
Yeah, like we gotta have some bad guys. We all chipped in to make whatever this is, like whatever it is. Like we all chipped in to make this happen. Like we all did this.
Yeah, this is true.
So
This is true.
whatever it is right now, like, you know,
It's
better
because
and
of
worse.
us. It's because of every single one of
You know,
us.
every single one of us.
It's
You know, like,
all our fault.
yeah, it's all our fault. That's right.